So let's go back to page 90 of the math book, okay? Yesterday we were talking about changing the data, and then we study the effects on the changing data on the range, interquartile range, and the standard deviation, okay? So basically, if you add the same number or subtract the same number from every data, then there will be no change on the range, no change on the interquartile range, no change on the standard deviation. But if you multiply a number or divide a number from every data, then there will be the corresponding change of the range, interquartile range, and the standard deviation. Okay. So today we are going to do a few exercises, more exercise on this topic. Okay. So let's go to question number 5. Question number 5. The range, interquartile range, and the standard deviation of a set of data is 13, 8, and 4 respectively. If each datum is doubled and then 5 is subtracted from each resulting datum, find the new range, the new interquartile range, and the new standard deviation of the set of data. Okay. So we have the original range, original IQR, and original SD. And now we have 2 steps of changing the data. Okay. So let me use my notation here. Okay, so the original set of data will be x1, x2, x3, and so on up to xn. Okay, and then new set. So there will be 2 steps. After the first step, each datum is doubled. What is meant by doubled is just multiplied by 2. 2x1, 2x2, 2x3, up to 2xn. Okay? So the original range, interquartile range, and standard deviation is 13, 8, and 4 respectively, right? And then after doubling the data, then the range, interquartile range, and standard deviation will also be doubled. Okay, so that should be equal to 26, 16, and 8. And then the newer, this is new 1, this is new 2. Okay. For the second step, 5 is subtracted from each resulting datum, which means that after multiplying by 2, we need to do the minus 5. And then this becomes 2x2 minus 5 and 2x3 minus 5, and so on, up to 2xn minus 5. Okay? But remember that when you subtract the same number from each datum, there will be no change on the range, interquartile range, and standard deviation. Okay, because there is no change on the dispersion, which means that the latest, the newest range will also be 26. The newest interquartile range is 16. Newest standard deviation will also be 8. It's okay. So that is like this. That is question number 5. 不過我想大家做多一樣嘢。我之前講過咧，其實喺 DSE 裏邊咧，成日都會問多一樣嘢嘅，就係個 variance。Okay, so this is the variance 我哋加多行啊。雖然呢一題嘅題目冇問，咁但係咧 DSE 經常都會問嘅。So what is variance? Variance is sigma square. Sigma square. Okay. So if the original sigma is 4, then original sigma square is 16. Okay. And then if new one, so after the doubling, the sigma is 8, which means that the sigma square will be 64. Okay. And then after the second step, minus 5, the new sigma is still 8. And then the new sigma square is still 64. Okay, you just do the square. Just do the square will be okay. Do you understand this? Okay. 咁即係話咧，嗱，如果佢問埋你個 new variance 嘅話咧，咁就係答64啦。但係今次咧，佢淨係問你呢3樣嘢啫。咁但係 DSE 咧成日都問呢一個㗎 variance 㗎。咁其實咧，你揾 variance 咧就唔好直接揾 variance， 一定就係揾 standard deviation 先嘅。然之後咧，臨尾 square 翻嘅話咧，就係佢嘅 variance 嚟㗎啦。OK， 得唔得？ All right, so let's do number 6 together. Number 6. So I'm going to clear the board. Number 6. So the range, the interquartile range and the standard deviation of a set of data are 10, 7, and 3.6 respectively. If 1 is added to each datum and then each resulting datum is divided by 4, find the new range, new interquartile range, and the new standard deviation of the set of data. 好，嗱呢一個咧，呢一題咧，我哋再做多，即係俾個題目啊，做多一樣嘢 ，OK？ 咁你做埋呢樣嘢嘅話咧，就真真正正係一題 DSE 嘅題目嚟㗎啦，得唔得？就係咧，我之前喺呢一課咧，即係呢一個12課一開頭嘅時候咧，我咪畫多咗幾樣嘢俾你嘅，就係個 mean、median 同埋個 mode，OK？ 因為咧 DSE 嘅題目咧，通常就唔會淨係問你 range、interquartile range 同埋 standard deviation 嘅，佢會喺 mean、median 同埋 mode 裏邊咧，都會揾抽一啲嚟問你嘅 ，OK？ 咁咧，我哋咁樣，嗱你跟我啊，original set of data， 我喺呢度畫啦 ，original is x1, x2, x3 up to xn， OK？ And then， 我呢度應該借多少少先。And then what we are going to do is the new range. The interquartile range, the standard deviation, the variance, and then the mean, the mode, the median. The mode. Okay, so this is variance. This is the mean, median, and this is the mode. Okay. 好，嗱呢度7樣嘢就係通常就會問晒㗎啦。我哋而家有啲咩咧 ？The range is 10. The interquartile range is 7. And then the standard deviation is 3.6. And then we can calculate the variance. Variance is sigma square, which means that it should be 3.6 square. It should be 12.96. Am I correct? Okay. And then 嗱呢度咧個 mean median 同埋 mode 咧題目冇俾到嘅，因為佢冇問啊嘛，係嘛？咁我哋當係 x bar small m and capital M first. Is okay？ 即係當係未知數先，得唔得？好啦，今次我哋做咗啲咩步驟啊？喺嗰啲 data 裏邊 ，new one is one is added to each datum, which means that it should be x1 plus 1, x2 plus 1, x3 plus 1, and then up to xn plus 1. Okay? And then we will see what is the change. What is the change in the range, interquartile range, standard deviation, and everything. 嗱，頭三個嗱，記住中間第四個咧，中間第四個係計出嚟嘅啫，即係要揾咗 sigma， 然之後二次方就係咁嘅啫，唔需要冇第二啲方法計嘅，得唔得 ？sigma square variance 冇第二啲方法計，一定要計咗個 sigma 先嘅。但我而家就擺埋喺度咁解啫。頭三個係講緊差異嘅 ，OK， 講差異。後三個係講緊中間數、平均數，即係中間位咁樣樣，你大概係攞一個位咁樣嘅啫，得唔得？即係平均數咁解啊 ？OK， 頭三個講緊差異嘅咧，如果我哋每一粒 data 都加一個數或者減一個數嘅話咧，加同一個數嘅話咧，係冇影響嘅，係嘛？今次係咪加一啊 ？So that should be 10, 7, 3.6. Okay, no change for this step. And then the sigma square, the variance is equal to 3.6 square. It's still equal to 12.96. Okay? But the mean, median, and mode will be changed. Okay? Mean, median 同埋 mode 咧係點都會變嘅，得唔得？係點樣都會變嘅，點樣都會跟住佢對每一粒 data 做嘅改變而改變嘅。So this time, 1 is added to each datum, which means that the mean should be added by 1 also, x bar plus 1. The median is also added by 1, and the mode is also added by 1. Okay? So this is the new one. After the first step, the new range, interquartile range, standard deviation, variance, mean, median, and mode will have this type of change. Okay? And then the new 2, each resulting datum is divided by 4. Okay? New 2 will be each resulting datum, 即係加咗一之後嘅 result is divided by 4， 即係除翻4，係咪即係咁樣啊 ？x1 plus 1 over 4, and then x2 plus 1 over 4, x3 plus 1 over 4, and xn plus 1 over 4. OK， 好啦，除4嘅話咧，就每樣嘢都有改變嘅咯噃，得唔得 ？So the new range will be 10 divided by 4. So that should be 2.5. Okay? And then the new interquartile range will be 7 divided by 4. So that should be 1.75. And then this is 3.6 divided by 4. So that should be 0.9. Okay? And sigma square, 嗱呢個小心啲啦。Sigma square is not divided by 4. It is calculated by 0.9 square. So that should be 0.81. Okay? So this should be paid attention to. Okay? The sigma square, the variance, is always calculated by the square of the standard deviation. Okay? And then the mean, median, and mode are also doing the same step. that is divided by 4 here. So the new mean will be x bar plus 1 over 4. New median will be small m plus 1 over 4. New mode will be big M plus 1 over 4. Okay? So that is like this. 好，呢一個題目我想你俾個反應我，得唔得？第6題。If you are okay for question number 6, please give me a like or a clap. Okay? If you understand everything for question number 6, please give me a like or a clap. Okay? Especially for the mean mode median part. Okay? 特別係 mean mode median 嗰度咧，因為呢一個其實書呢度咧，即係佢好衰嘅。其實佢淨係講呢一課淨係講range 啊 standard deviation 嗰啲嘅話咧，佢啲題目就淨係講 standard deviation 嗰啲嘅啫。但係 mean mode median 嗰3樣嘢咧，其實佢每次考試咧，即係 DSE 咧，都會係撈埋咁樣嚟問嘅，即係唔會話獨立問standard deviation 啊咁樣嘅，一定會撈埋問嘅。所以咧，我想你哋即係 train practice 嘅時候咧，係一次過咁樣諗埋 ，OK？ 即係你要記得邊啲係會變，邊啲係唔會變咁樣，得唔得 ？If you are not okay for any steps, please raise your hand. So anyone is not okay for any step here? 有冇同學係有任何啲 step 係唔得嘅？我想問下，我今日係咪叻叻地啊？我係咪好窒啊？
係啊，係啊。
係 ，sorry 啊，係點樣窒法㗎？其實係
頭先就窒一下咯，跟住啱啱窒咗有啲長時間咯，5、6秒到咯，即係停咗咁樣冇聲啊。定
係講嘢好似喺水裏邊嗰啲聲咁樣啊？即係聽唔清㗎？定都我講嘅時候係咪都聽清？
聽得到嘅，啲聲係聽得到嘅，但係會窒窒地，同埋你個畫面會係咯。
OK， 好 ，thank you。我盡量，如果真係我窒到係 miss 咗一啲嘢係拆走咗嘅話咧，你就講翻俾我聽，我 undo 翻俾你啊。OK， 得唔得 ？Thank you。Okay, so I would like to do question number 7 with you together. 好啦，呢個咧就真係好似咧，好似係 DSE 嘅題目啦，嘅 MC 嘅題目嚟嘅。OK， let us do question number 7 together. So the range, the interquartile range and the standard deviation of the 5 numbers x1, x2, x3, x4, and x5 are 36, 22, and 10 respectively. Find the range, interquartile range, and the variance of each of the following sets of data. 好啦，嗱，今次咧我哋要自己去諗咧，究竟係做咗咩 step 先，然之後第2個 step 係做啲咩嘅咁樣樣。OK， 但係我哋咧嗱，今次唔係由 x1 至 xn 喎，今次得 x1 至 x5 啫，咁但係其實一樣嘅啫，係咪？咁我哋 original is x1 x2 up to x5. Okay, and then we have R, we have Q, we have sigma square. 唔夠位添，等陣先 ，sorry 啊，再講。Okay, so we have this range is given to be 36, and then interquartile range is 22, sigma is 10. So sigma square will be 100, okay? And then we just let x bar to be the mean, small m to be the median, and then capital M to be the mode, okay? And then, so what is the change? What is the first change? 嗱，呢度咧佢變咗4x1加3，咁即係其實咧我哋做咗啲咩改變咧？做咗幾多個 step 嘅改變咧？睇唔睇得出係先將嗰啲 data 每一粒 data 都乘大4倍先。The first step is to multiply a 4 to each of the data. And then the second step will be added by 3. Okay, so new one will be 4x1, 4x2, up to 4x5. Can you see this? And then the new 2 will be 4x1 plus 3, 4x2 plus 3, up to 4x5 plus 3. Okay? Can you see this? And then for the first step, if we need to multiply a 4 to each of the datum, then the range, interquartile range, and sigma, and the x bar, small m, and capital M are all multiplied by the same 4. Okay, so that should be 144, 88, 40. And careful, the sigma square will be 40 square. So that should be 1,600. Okay, and then the new mean will be 4x bar. And then for small letter m, for capital M. It's okay. And then for the second step, if we add 3 to each of the datum, then the dispersion part,差異嗰3個 will be no change. Okay, so that should be 144, keeping 144. 嗱，叫做 no change 嘅意思係喺144之後係 no change 喎，係嘛？144呢個 change 已經係發生咗㗎啦，就係乘大4倍之後嘅，係咪？咁所以咧，我話 no change 嘅意思唔係叫你寫翻36嘅，得唔得？係相對於144，即係乘大咗4倍之後，我哋做呢個加3咧，係對個144係 no change 嘅。Okay, and then the 88 is also no change. The 40 is also no change. And then the variance, the sigma square is also 1,600. Okay, but for the central tendency, that is the x bar, m, and capital M, if we add 3 to each of the datum, then these 3 things will have the corresponding change. Okay, we'll have the same change. So the new mean is 4 times x bar plus 3. And then the new median will be 4 times small m plus 3. And the new mode will be 4 times capital M plus 3. Okay, so that will be like this. 嗱，你見唔見到佢咧？今次咧，佢叫你求咩㗎？睇清楚個題目，係叫你求 find the range, interquartile range, and the variance. Okay, so we need to answer this is the range, this is the interquartile range, and this is the variance. Okay, so to answer the question, the range is 144, and then the interquartile range is 88, and then variance will be 1,600. Is okay? 好，得唔得？但係我哋都講最好慘氣咁講一次啦。當我哋 practice 嘅時候咧，咁我哋都成個表裏邊都喺我哋個腦裏邊，因為佢隨時可以問個 mean 係幾多，隨時可以問個 mode 係幾多嘅。講真 ，OK 得唔得 ？All right, so let's do part B. Part B. So let me clear this part first. Clear this. The original the original set of data is still x1 to x5, and the original range is 36, original I2R is 22, sigma is 10, and so on, okay? The original numbers has no change. But this time our change will be, oh, sorry. Our change will be like this. So what is the first change? Can you see this? Can you see what is the first change in part B? New one will be divided by 2 first, right? This x1 divided by 2, x2 divided by 2, and finally x5 divided by 2. And then what is the second change? Is subtracted by 8. Okay, so new 2 will be x1 over 2 first, and then minus 8. And then x2 over 2, and then minus 8. And then x5 over 2 minus 8. Okay? So we need to identify the changes, the steps of the changes first. Okay? And then we do the change on the range and so on. Okay? So for the new one, the first change is divided by 2. When it's divided by 2, the dispersions will be divided by 2. Okay, so first 6 becomes 18. 22 becomes 11. 10 becomes 5. Be careful about the variance. The variance will be the sigma square. So that should be 25. Okay, and then the x bar will be x bar over 2. Median will be m over 2. And then mode will be capital M over 2. 我咪叻咗好耐啊，頭先。
你直頭遲咗
係咪？
一陣先出嚟。
OK， 我完全我 get 到我幾時叻啦。OK， 但我控制唔到啊 ，sorry 啊，今日。OK， new 2, the new 2 is subtracted by 8. But when every data is subtracted by 8, then the range, interquartile range, and sigma will be no change. Okay, the dispersion will be no change. Just keep the 18, 11, 5. Okay, and then sigma square is still 5 squared, that is 25. Okay, but for the mean, median, and mode, we will have the corresponding changes. X bar over 2 minus 8. M over 2 minus 8. Capital M over 2 minus 8. Okay? So that is like this. And the question just asks us to find the range, the interquartile range, and the variance. So the range will be 18, interquartile range will be 11, and variance will be 25. Okay? So this is 18, 11, 25. So that is the final answer. Is that okay? OK， 好，第7題 OK 嘅，俾個反應我，俾個 like or clap 我得唔得？呢個緊要嘅。So if you are OK for question number 7, please give me a like or a clap, please. If you are not OK, please raise your hand. Anyone not OK? Okay, good. Nabila can't get how to find a new range. Okay, for the first step, so I do it again. You need to identify what has been done on the data. Okay, the original data is x1 to x5. Okay, and then after the first change, every data is divided by 2. Then these 3 things, okay, the range, the interquartile range, and the standard deviation will also be divided by 2. Okay, divided by 2. So when it is multiplied by number or divided by numbers, then these 3 things will have the same change. Okay, if it is divided by 2 on the data, then the range will also be divided by 2. So 36 divided by 2 is 18. 22 divided by 2 is 11. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Is that okay? But good. And then, but for the second change, if it is added by numbers or subtracted by numbers on every data, then the range, interquartile range, and standard deviation will have no change. Okay, we have no change. So after dividing by 2 to 18, for this step, okay, from new 1 to new 2, then there will be no change for the range, no change for the interquartile range, and no change for the standard deviation. Is that okay? 得唔得？加減一個數嘅話咧，係冇改變嘅呢3樣嘢，但係後邊呢3樣嘢有改變嘅喎 ，mean、median 同埋mode。點樣改變啊？跟住佢改變就得㗎啦，跟大隊改變，得唔得 ？OK， you follow the big group will be OK。咁你只需要搞清楚咧，係邊樣嘢有改變，邊樣嘢冇改變，咁就得㗎啦。Is that OK？ 好嗱，呢度咧其實仲有最後一個 section 嘅。咁個 section 咧其實冇嘢嘅，我只係想講一樣嘢嘅啫。Okay, so I'm going to clear the board. This one 嗱，我哋咧之前啱呢個 section 咧學嘅改變咧，就係每一粒 data 都做同樣嘅改變嘅。OK， 每一粒 data 都做同樣嘅改變。咁但係有陣時咧，實際情況都係咁樣嘅噃。有陣時咧，我哋會係加一粒 data 入去 ，OK， 即係本身有10粒嘅，我哋而家咧係加多一粒 data， 即係可能我哋計漏咗一個分數嘅咁樣，係嘛 ？OK， 咁嘅時候咧，我哋要加粒 data 啦。或者有陣時咧，可能譬如有一個人退咗學嘅，突然間退學嘅，咁你要減走嗰粒 data 啦。咁對嗰啲差異有啲咩影響咧？或者對個平均數有咩影響咧？咁咧簡單嚟講咧，就係你要重新再計過。得唔得 ？OK， if it is just deleting one datum or inserting one datum, okay, that is if we are not doing the same thing to every datum. Okay, if we are deleting one datum or inserting an extra datum, then the range, interquartile range, and standard deviation will be recalculated again. Okay, so there is no quick method for finding the new range, new interquartile range, and new standard deviation. You need to recalculate these 3 things again. 得唔得？即係簡單嚟講，如果你做嘅改變並唔係對所有原先嘅 data 係一致性嘅話咧，你就要將嗰啲嘅 mean、mode、median、range、interquartile range、standard deviation 咧重新再計過㗎啦。OK， 得唔得？所以呢度咧冇咩好做嘅，只不過咧佢話唔要咗一個 data， 咁你就要重新再計過㗎啦。佢話加多一個 data， 你又要重新再計過㗎啦，咁樣樣。OK， 除非佢係每個 data 都做同一樣嘢，就可以用翻我哋啱啱上一堂學嗰 part 嘅方法咧，去計翻嗰啲新嘅 range 啊、interquartile range 啊、mean 嗰啲嘢，咁樣樣。OK， 如此類推，得唔得？呢度 get 唔 get 到我呢一個位所講嘅嘢，得唔得 ？OK， 呢個位 OK 得我 OK good。好啦，咁嘅時候咧，呢一 part 咧就完咗㗎啦。咁呢度只不過係好多唔同種類嘅加 data 啊、減 data 啊，加完之後可能又會即係每一粒又會成大幾多倍啊咁樣，即係撈埋一齊嚟問嘅啫。OK， 咁我唔做呢一個 MacBook 裏邊嗰啲㗎啦。下一堂翻嚟嘅時候咧，咁我會同大家做一啲 past paper 嘅 past paper。OK， 咁就我將所有 DSE 嘅 past paper 咧，如果你有望過嘅話咧，將所有 DSE 嘅 past paper 咧，我都擺晒落去 Math App 嗰度㗎啦。OK， 咁就MC multiple choice 嘅 past paper 咧，我已經分埋 topic 添嘅。OK， 咁就我未必會印出嚟俾你嘅。嗱，記住喎，嗰啲 past paper 咧，咁我應該唔會印出嚟俾你。但係如果你想我印某一啲俾你嘅話咧，你同我講就得嘅，得唔得 ？OK， 咁記住我用學校嘅資源嚟印俾你嘅啫。OK， 得唔得？咁所以如果你想即係印出嚟做係舒服啲嘅話咧，你就同我講話，想印邊一度啊咁樣樣係 OK 嘅。 咁但係我就唔大規模咁樣印先啦 ，OK 得唔得？好，咁我下個禮拜開始咧就會講 past paper 先嘅，咁我直頭就會講翻我哋學緊嘅呢度第11同埋第12課呢啲 statistics 嘅課題先嘅 ，OK？ Alright, so if there is no problems, wait, I see a message. Yes, the past papers, the DSE past paper are already uploaded to the MedApp web system. Okay, so can you find the DSE LongQuad and DSE MC in the menu bar? So if you log into the MedApp web system, you will find that. Okay, and you will find so many LKL past papers also. They are already by topics, arranged by topics. Okay. So we will use the MedApp web system next week. Okay, so please remember to successful log in. Okay, so that's the end of this lesson, and you may leave now. Goodbye.